This video is on importing data from the R-Instat library. The R packages include many interesting datasets. The import from library dialog gives easy access to them. From the starting screen, double-click on Import from Library. Some packages consist of data. The package called datasets is the default one in R-Instat. We illustrate first with the mtcars data, which is used in many examples. One feature of this data is that the model names are given as the raw variable. We don't use raw variables much in R-Instat, so use the prepare data frames raw name/numbers dialog, and clicking OK copies the raw names into the first column. A second dataset is the USJudgeRatings. Select the data and click on R Help to give the description from the datasets package about this data. This confirms there are 12 variables that are all numeric and are all from 43 judges. These are currently opened in a browser but don't need an internet connection. We go back to the dialog and click OK. There is also R-Instat help on dialog dialog, and the raw summaries dialog help uses this data. From prepare, column numeric, raw summaries, click on help. This shows how the mean, max, and minimum of each judge could easily be provided. There are many packages from which you can choose your favorite datasets. In the first tutorial, we used the ggplot package, from which the first example is the diamonds datasets. This data consists of a mixture of numeric and factor variables. This dataset has more rows than the first two we have just used, and it's still opened easily in R-Instat. You can easily skip to the end of the data to see the last rows. Use the double arrows at the bottom of the data frame. The previous examples have been longer than they are wide, but that is not always the case. We open the rockart example from the DAAG package, which has 641 variables and only 103 rows. The last variables here are numeric. You can also very easily skip to the end in a wide dataset using these double arrows at the bottom of the data frame. We would not normally have such varied datasets in a single data book, but in this instance, we can now look at the data frame metadata, which shows a summary of the examples we have opened so far. This emphasizes the varied number of columns and rows that characterize the examples. The next video is on different ways of entering a column into R-Instat.